Good evening and welcome everyone to NASA Live, Bangladesh 5th workshop in partnership with Dhaka University Health Express on one of the most appropriate topics due according to the present situation of our country, enhancing mental health during COVID-19 pandemic. I'm Shirina Khatun, working as a volunteer of Nurse Life Bangladesh, and I will be hosting today's workshop along with other co-hosts Wahid Anwar and John Dashgupta, Program Manager of Nurse Life Bangladesh. Our today's workshop is organized by Nurse Life Bangladesh in partnership with Dhaka University Health Express. Nurse Life is a non-profit international organization founded by Ms. Fahima Rashid. It has been established with the aim of helping people to get solutions regarding mental health issues, to spread mental health and suicide awareness among people, and also increase mental health literacy worldwide. Although Nurse Life is based in Lucknow, India, it has expanded its network to other parts of the world, such as in Romania, Oman, USA, KSA, Nepal, and recently it has started its journey in Bangladesh. Nurse Life is also a movement through which we want people to come out, break their silence, and talk about their mental health issue openly, in spite of considering it a taboo. We are working to break the superstitious mentality that has been around mental health since eons. Through Nurse Life, we want to make sure that if anybody is going through some negativity or struggling with mental health issues in their lives, may not feel that they're alone in this journey, and to assure them that there is always a ray of hope in life. Now, let me talk about Dhaka University Health Express. It is basically a student-based platform which works for the betterment of students of Dhaka University. Dhaka University Health Express is established by Mr. Zulia Caesar Talukdar with the aim of ensuring better health for Dhaka University students. Before starting the workshop, I would like to share some instructions that has to be followed during workshop. This is an interactive session and all of you will be allowed to ask questions. No disturbance will be created during workshop. If anybody found creating disturbance will be blocked and no participation certificate will be provided. Certificate only will be issued if you attend the full workshop. Now, I would like to introduce the honorable speaker of today's workshop, Ms. Fahima Rashid. She is currently working as a counseling psychologist at Mumbai. She is a certified cognitive behavior therapy and rational emotive behavior therapy specialist. Now, I'm requesting Ms. Fahima Rashid, ma'am, to start the session. It's over to you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Shirina Khatun. That was wonderful, very beautifully expressed.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, so I begin with my session with all of you. A very good evening to all of you, all the participants, youngsters, and the faculty members present here. Now, have you noticed that, how, this tiny little invisible virus have affected us globally, which you can't even see, and, so minute, which has, actually created a havoc in the entire world. And more than that, it has created havoc on our mental health. So we are just running about and we are in chaos. We don't know what's happening. When will it end? At least this was, the case till the initial first year. Now we are getting gradually, used to this situation. But still there is an impact left on the mental health. So we are in this second year of pandemic, and this pandemic has increased the mental health issues. At the same time, people have come to realize that mental health is something we really need to look at. And this is something we really need to pay attention to. So people are using, this term anxiety very often in their language. Like, how many of us uh, use this term anxiety or even knew what it meant pre-COVID? So we are hearing and seeing people around with anxiety, and it has, greatly affected our mental health as we are constantly living in fear, worry, anxiety, and it has also, exacerbated or increased the mental health issues of people which was already present. So people who are already depressed are, struggling more with their mental health issues now. Their conditions have become more worse. So it has led to significantly higher levels of irritability. They've become more stressed. The anxiety have increased. The depression have increased. So it has disrupted the entire life routine and the body pattern. Like, our sleeping, our eating habits, our sleeping patterns, our work habits have all changed, have drastically undergone change. Okay. So when we're sitting at home, we are not getting tired. Why? Because all the day long, we are sitting with the phones and laptops on. And this is how is it affecting us? It is reducing our sleep. Okay, and we sleep feeling tired and lazy throughout the day. We are irritated. So it's all is, have impacted our routine to a great extent. So people are becoming self-claimed doctors now, like taking their own medications, sleeping pills, and increase in alcohol intake and addiction to online games and phone and porn and okay. So we see that pandemic has comprehensively affected our mental health. We were not prepared. We were not prepared mentally to face this kind of a situation or even deal with it. Now it has caught us unaware, creating a lot of anxiety and stress in us. When something catches us unaware, when we are not prepared to deal or even face it, the first reaction that we give is, oh my, your anxiety goes high, you are in stress, what to do, how to overcome this. So mental health is going down. It can cause distress and impact our day-to-day functioning and relationships as well. And it is associated with also poor physical health and suicide. So, enforced lockdowns and quarantines and restrictions in social family gatherings and disruption of non-essential services delivery and suspension of cultural and sporting activities have all been identified as new stressors and factors exacerbating and affecting mental health disorders. So these restrictions combined with fear of contracting the virus, food insecurity, okay, and relationship struggles, loneliness, boredom, lifestyle changes, working from home, homeschooling have had an enormous impact on our mental health. So we have seen the dark and grim, but real picture of the effect of pandemic on our mental health. Now I will focus on something positive. Okay, how to enhance your good mental health. Okay, how to improve your mental health, and that will bring a lot of hope and a feel good factor in all about about ourselves, others, and our life. And that's what I really wish for all of us. So what is that first thing that comes to your mind when you think about mental health? You can put it in the chat box, or you can just unmute yourself and give me the answer, or keep putting it, posting in the chat box, so I'll just go through. What is the first thing that comes to your mind when you think about mental health? what is, when you talk about mental health, or someone having, when you had this session that you'll be having a session on mental health, what was that first thing now that came to your mind? What is the concept of mental health in Bangladesh? Okay. Nobody wants to respond? Okay, that's fine. So I'll give you the answer. Mental health is frequently misunderstood. Okay, mental health is, considered to be, having a disorder, having a mental illness. Okay, but it's not that. Mental health is often used as a substitute for mental health conditions. Okay, there I got one chat. Let me check. Mental health includes our emotional, psychological, social well-being. It affects how we think, feel, and act. Very good, Shireen. Yes, perfect. Thank you, Shireen. So mental health is often used as a substitute for mental health conditions such as depression, anxiety, schizophrenia, and others. So mental health is basically about wellness rather than illness. Okay? So according to WHO, mental health is a state of well-being in which, now what is the state of well-being? It's very important to note. Please pay attention here. It is a state of well-being in which, now what is the state of well-being? Where you realize your inner potential. Okay, you realize your capabilities. You can cope with normal stresses of life. Okay, you don't get bogged down. You are able to cope with normal stresses of life. And you can work productively and fruitfully and is able to make a contribution to his or her community. Okay, I'm very glad the youngsters here who have joined Nurture Life, they are doing something for the community. They are contributing to the community. That's how you preserve your mental health. Okay, so rather than being about, what's the problem, okay, it's really about what's going well. The mental health is all about, being cognitively, emotionally, and socially healthy. So cognitively involves the intellectual part, our ability to think, reason, rationalize, remember. Okay, emotionally, like, you feel good, you feel happy, you feel better, you feel cheerful, right? You're at peace with yourself. And socially, you're able to relate with other people. You're able to exchange good conversations, healthy conversations with other people. You're able to maintain healthy relationships with other people. You're not always ending up in a fight or an argument, okay, and spoiling your relationships. So mental health is a collective of, is all about being cognitively, emotionally, and socially healthy. It's obviously the way we think, feel, and develop relationships. So you will remember, fix it in your mind, the before stage for philosophy. I will put it here, which you have to remember. It is before stage 4. Okay, you will not forget this. It's on your screen. Okay. I made a mistake there. Now, okay, so before stage 4, this is something that you're going to remember. Now, what is this before stage 4 philosophy? When we think about cancer or a heart disease or diabetes, we don't wait for years to treat them. Okay, when your doctor tells you that, you are diagnosed with a cancer, a heart disease, or diabetes, you will not wait for years to treat them. We start before that reaching that stage 4.
Hello, ma'am.
Hello?
Hello, ma'am.
Yes.
Yeah, I have one question.
Okay, yes.
Over emotion, is it mental problem?
Which emotion?
Over emotion.
I'm not able to understand you.
Mm, more and more emotion.
Okay, over emotion. Over emotion. Okay, you're asking me, is over emotion a mental problem? Now, over emotion of what? Okay, there are positive emotions and negative emotions. There are healthy negative emotions and healthy positive emotion. Healthy unhealthy negative emotions.
Ma'am,
Yes. Yeah.
Quick somebody more and more. Quick somebody more and more.
Mr. Zahid has Santos, don't ask question right now. You will get time after this session. Thank you.
Okay.
You can put the question in the chat box and I will address it after when we have the question answer session.
Dear participants, we have a elaborated question answer session for you after our honorable guest has finished his session, and you all will get chance to explore yourself and explore your thirst and explore your want for knowing and exploring something new. Thanks a lot.
Okay, so when we think about the cancer and heart disease and diabetes, we don't wait for years to treat them. We start before reaching that stage 4. So we begin with prevention. We start with prevention. What would I do to not reach that stage 4? And when people are in the first stage of those diseases and have persistent cough or high blood pressure or high sugar, we try immediately to reverse these symptoms. So this is what we should be doing when people have serious mental health conditions too. So when they begin to experience symptoms, right, mental health issues, symptoms related to mental health issues such as loss of sleep, feeling tired for no reason, feeling low, feeling anxious, and not being able to cope with the normal stresses of life. So when we note these symptoms in the initial stage, this is the initial stage, we should not wait till it becomes worse and we are running and checking out the psychologists and psychiatrists. You start from that beginning stage. Okay, this is what is before stage 4. Okay. So we have learned what mental health is, and now it is important to take care of your mental health. And how are we going to do that? Now you will ask me how. You've understood what mental health is. Okay. You understood how it has now the pandemic has negative impact on our mental health and how we should correct it, and we should be alarmed and alert when we notice the initial symptoms of mental health conditions. Now, what are we going to do about it? Okay. So how will we do it now? All the answers are within us. Okay. It's human nature. We want, that quick fix solution. Okay. So now, do you have any expectations from this workshop? Like, what I will be telling you, what I will be, what tips I will be giving you to improve your mental health. Can you just put it in the chat box? What do you really think? What do you think that I will be saying? What tips will I be giving you, or what will I be telling you to and how to enhance your mental health?
Julius Caesar Talukdar bhai, please mute your mic.
I hope there's no disturbing sound coming from the background now. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you so much. So I want the participants to quickly put in there what do they expect from me, Am I going to give you, tip number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on my fingers, which I will do, which I will give you, but I have divided the section into 2 parts. Okay, the internal and the external. Now, what you see right in front of you are the internals of enhancing your mental health. Okay, now this basically means that we have to work on ourselves to make it effective and long lasting. Okay. So for you to improve your mental health and make it effective and long lasting, you have to first work on yourself. Okay. So here I have a few internals like acceptance, uncertainty tolerance, resilience, change of thoughts, gratitude, and use of time. So we will quickly look at each one of them. Okay. So acceptance. Now, what is this acceptance? Things go smooth and you're better able to cope with the problem situation or people when we first accept. So accept the reality, accept the fact, and from there we can move ahead with flexibility and adjustment. Acceptance does not mean approval, that you're approving of everything bad that is happening. Okay? It doesn't mean approval. Acceptance means that we are accepting the fact. In this case, pandemic, it is a bad situation. I don't approve of it. Okay? But I accept it because I cannot do anything about it. I cannot reverse the situation. It's not in my control. Okay, so I'm not approving of it. Oh, pandemic, it's worse, it's pathetic. Okay, but I have to accept it. Okay, I accept it to take the necessary steps to maintain my mental health because I'm concerned about my mental health. So when I accept it, I become flexible and adjusting in my approach to solve the problem. Everything that life throws at you will not be according to your desires and expectations. Something that comes my way over which I don't have control, I accept it instead of denying and fighting and resisting it. Getting it? So you will end up emotionally draining yourself when you are fighting it and you are being rigid not to accept it and be resistant. So we accept the fact so that we develop flexibility to adapt and then change. So acceptance does not mean liking or wanting or choosing or supporting something. I'm not saying that you like or support whatever it is that you are accepting. But by struggling against the pain, by resisting and rejecting it, we create undue suffering. Like if you don't accept that you are in this pandemic situation since last year, and there is this COVID thing that is happening. If you don't accept that, it is going to be more, painful, and it will only add to your suffering. Okay, so we need to accept that and then move on with flexibility. So when you accept something, when you accept things that you cannot change, the chaos in the mind is replaced by some peace. And that's why you have that word peace written there. Getting it? This is very important, that when you accept something that you cannot change, the chaos in the mind is replaced by some peace. Okay? The next slide. I will just put in here because I want you to remember this. Okay. So when you do this, chaos is replaced by peace. The second slide is uncertainty tolerance. Now, what is this uncertainty tolerance? Okay, uncertainty is something like, that catches you unaware, like this pandemic, the COVID, it caught you unaware. Okay, you were not ready, you didn't know that, what future has in store for you. So life is all about making decisions, and every moment of the day we make decisions, some mundane, very casual ones, and some are more meaningful. So in the morning we have to decide what to wear, what to eat. By the afternoon we have to decide what I have to study, what course I have to get into, and how to respond to a crisis. So before deciding any course of action, we want to be certain that what decision I'm making is the best decision. We want that security, right? Because when something is certain, we get a sense of security. It does not bring anxiety in us. Oh, what is going to happen? What is going to happen? It does not give us that situation. It doesn't give us panic attacks, right? So people crave certainty in life. And this is a very natural, this is the tendency of human beings, that we crave for certainty in life. Okay? Because certainty gives us a sense of security and the feeling that we have lives under our control. But however, despite constantly seeking for certainty, you do not know what will happen tomorrow, what tomorrow holds for you. So uncertainty has been woven in the fabric of nature. Okay? So everything in this life is meant to change. Seasons change, the colors of the trees change, our emotions change, we have changed from childhood to adulthood, our personalities have changed, all with varying levels of predictability, right? So the person who tolerates uncertainty and is comfortable, though it's not easy, okay? But that's the way it is. With it will be, is comfortable with it, you will be able to function better in life than the one who constantly desires for control and certainty. So the one who's constantly desiring for certainty and control, okay, will always be apprehensive, will always be anxious, will always be irritated. And the one who is comfortable with uncertainty and have tolerated certainty and is ready to face whatever comes his way. I said, though it's not easy, okay, but that's how it is. That person is more at peace with himself. Getting it? So this is because the person who accepts uncertainty acknowledges that they are not in absolute control of their affairs. Okay? They don't have complete control over every matter of their life. And so they do not stress over what they cannot control. So the one who runs away from uncertainty does not accept it. And they will only find uncertainty everywhere. And they will be always in a situation of anxiety and stress and worry. Okay? And stress is a direct response to situations where people feel uncertain and have feel a lack of control. So tolerate uncertainty in life and lower your anxiety and have a better mental health. Resilience. Now, what is this resilience? It is the ability to bounce after a difficult time. We have to be each other's protective factors when we support someone who has emotionally broken down to stand and resume his life. So we have to help each other become resilient. All of us, we need that support and that those people around that will help us become resilient. As children, you've seen children, you notice them and you'll find that they are more resilient. Like even if a child is scolded or their toy broke, they'll cry for some time and then again they bounce back, right? Like, as if nothing, matters to them. You scold them and then again after some time they're back to their normal. That is what is resilience. So as we grow, we get involved in so many things in our life that we fail to see the positives and remember only our losses and failures and something that we did not achieve and rejections. So your life is full of, box of goods and bads, positives and negatives. If you can see the negative, then what stops you from seeing the positive? It's a matter of choice. Okay. If you want to have a good mental health, wherein you are able to be at peace in your mind and be happy, and you're able to maintain healthy relationships, this is how we become resilient. It's you who have to make a choice what I want to focus on, positive or the negatives of my life. Okay. The next is your thoughts. So you live with your thoughts. So be careful of what they are. 24/7, you have thoughts going on in your mind. You cannot, there is not a single moment where you are without any thought. Whether it makes sense, it doesn't make any sense, relevant, irrelevant, logical, meaningful, any thoughts, it goes on in your mind 24/7. So all our suffering and happiness is based on how we think about something, the way we are thinking about something. And how you think decides how you feel. If you think negative, you will feel bad, you will feel sad, right? If you think that why this pandemic and I'm not able to handle this lockdown anymore, you feel more anxious and angry and sad after a point. I don't have a job, what will I do? And you feel more horrible after this. So this is also where you have to bring in uncertainty tolerance that I told you about, right? Everything is not in your control. So you have to go with the flow, right? So you can only keep trying, put in your efforts. How much will you earn? Where will you work? Is all uncertain. The idea behind all this is that we are focusing on ways to enhance our mental health. And what thoughts you choose about yourself, others, and your life reflects on, how you feel. The more you think the situations of people are catastrophic and awful and bad, and you cannot stand it, and the more you are filled with unhealthy negative emotions. And that will affect your mental health. We talk about positive thinking, think positive. But what does that mean to think positive? You accept the situations that are not in your control. Circumstances and people external to you are not in your control. So anything outside you is not in your control. You have the power to change what is inside you, and that is your thoughts. Your thoughts about those people, your thoughts about the situation, right? Your thoughts about what other people said, your thoughts about what other people did to you. Okay. So you don't have control over what's happening outside you, but you have power and control over your thoughts. That is internal to you. So to live a fulfilling life, all of us have negative emotions. To feel sad, to feel upset, angry, feel bad about the situations, right? But if your emotions are too intense, okay, so severe that it's affecting your daily life, it is affecting your relationships, it is affecting your work, your personal self, then you need to do something about it. You remember the stage 4 before stage 4 I mentioned, it's that. Okay. The next is gratitude. Okay, now what is gratitude? It works miraculously. It will bring wonders in your life. Expressing gratitude can improve your mood instantly. You know, people who regularly express gratitude for their positive things in their life are shown to be more happier, and leading to there are low rates of stress and depression. And research has shown that gratitude makes you more optimistic. Express gratitude 20 times a day. When you wake up in the morning, express gratitude. Thank your creator. Thank him that, he's given you one more chance to see the beautiful world, to make changes, to make amendments, right? Do that. Practice gratitude 20 times in a day, 40 times in a day. Keep repeating that to yourself, because human beings have this tendency to forget, right? So we have to constantly remind ourselves. We have to constantly, repeat that tape, those gramophones we had earlier in those white and black days, black and white days that used to play the records. Play that in your mind. Keep repeating it to yourself. Be grateful. Be grateful. Okay? 20 times in a day. Because words are very powerful and the brain quickly responds to the words and makes you feel likewise. What you tell your brain, it will make you feel likewise. When we express gratitude, right, our brain releases certain neurochemicals, neurotransmitters, chemicals in the brain, and that makes us feel good. They enhance our mood immediately and they make us feel happy from inside. So when you're grateful, you acknowledge with full awareness what you have with you. Taking pandemic as the situation, we used to say it's good, if you talk well with your relatives, it's good if you spend some time with your parents. But now this pandemic has forced us to be in a situation that we're realizing the importance of people around us. Value of our life filled with parents, relatives, siblings. So many have lost so many important members of their family and close ones, right? So with the social distancing and lockdown, we have realized the importance of being social, right? We've realized the importance of being connective, the importance of connectivity. Okay, so be grateful for every bit that is with you, that has become so precious. Practice gratitude early in the morning. Be grateful for getting, for a chance that you get to see another day, for the difference to those, you can make around the people. Be grateful for every time you put that food in your mouth, as we have seen how people have starved, right, during this pandemic. Be grateful for every breath that you are taking. You're not dependent on the ventilator. There were so many who were dependent on the ventilator. Oxygen, we realized the importance of oxygen that we were taking granted for, right? So be grateful to have your parents, relatives, loved ones around. Gratitude doesn't come all of a sudden that from today I'll start being grateful. No, you have to keep practicing it. You have to keep repeating it as a gramophone, the record that keeps playing and on the gramophone. So you have to keep playing it. You have to keep telling it, be grateful. Okay. The next is time. Now, time is most valued. Okay, as time once gone doesn't come back. We cribbed about not getting time pre-COVID. Now you have ample of time. How do you want to make use of that time? Learn some skills, develop some hobbies, work on yourself that will help you in the future. Everyone has to respect and understand the value of time. Every minute, every second is moving. My session has come to nearly an end now, right? So time is just moving. This is the only thing that cannot come back, right? So if we better understand the value of time, then it can gain experience. You can gain experience, you can develop skills over time, right? Prepare yourself when everything relaxes. So you have your weapons, you have your equipments, you have all the resources, internal resources available. Work on yourself. Time can also heal things, whether external wounds or feelings. Okay? So it doesn't wait for anyone. We don't make use of our time. We are indeed, in a great loss when we don't make use of that great time. Right? So this free time is a blessing that we all have got during pandemic. We don't have to pay heed to this and simply, waste it. Hours of watching videos on phone and playing games and watching movies and sleeping all day. What do you get in your hand? You have lost your time. You could have done something productive for yourself, for the community. As I mentioned in the definition of mental health, remember, to maintain that mental health, you be productive to the society, be productive to the community, because each one of you have something really good and something really amazing in you. So make use of that. Identify what is that amazing thing you have in yourself. So don't waste your time and do something good before you are caught up, with certain uncertainties. Now there are certain, these are the internals that I spoke about, that we have to work on ourselves. We have to work internally. We have to work within. Now those tips I mentioned about, I will be giving you those tips now, the external ones. Okay, the first is the diet. Studies have found that healthy diets can help with symptoms of depression and anxiety, and a diet does to mental health as it does to our physical health. So what you choose affects your mood and mental health, and this is called the food mood connection. So people don't have a healthy diet are more likely to report symptoms of depression and mental health issues, right? Carbohydrates and eating regularly. Remember, we had this balanced diet in school. We studied about balanced diet, right? So we need to have a balanced diet, carbohydrates, because for your brain to be able to concentrate on focus, it needs uh, energy, and 20% of all energy needed by the body is used by the brain. So this energy comes from carbohydrates. Okay, so we don't have enough energy for the brain, so we cannot think rationally. We will feel weak, tired, and we will not be able to think clearly. Okay, fruits, whole grains, fruits, vegetables, legumes, and fish, all these are very good. Okay, proteins and fats. Your brain also needs amino acids to help regulate your thoughts and feelings. So protein is found in meat, fish, eggs, nuts, seeds, cheese, soya products, and legumes. So some people may be under impression that all fat is bad for us, but this isn't the case. Some fat is really essential for the brain to function well. Vitamins and minerals. When we don't get enough of certain vitamins and minerals, both our physical and mental health can suffer. So the best way to ensure that you're getting enough of vitamins and minerals is to have a balanced diet. Have fruits, vegetables, leafy vegetables, and everything that is included in it. Okay? Exercise. Okay. So you already know that exercise is good for your body, but did you know that it can also boost your mood and improve your sleep and help you deal with depression, anxiety, and stress? They feel more energetic throughout the day. Those who exercise, they sleep better at night, have sharper memories, feel more relaxed, and are positive about themselves and their lives. So regular exercise can have a profound positive impact on depression and anxiety. It also relieves your stress, because when you're working out, you're doing some rigorous movement, you can not necessarily that you go to the gym in lockdown. You can do at home. Okay, you can do skipping and brisk walk, or you can do even if the maid is not coming, you do the household chores. You don't have to be ashamed of that. Do it. Keep brooming, clean the cobwebs, and that is a form of exercise. It will make you, when you're tired, when you exert yourself, that extra energy is released and you feel better. Okay, so that helps in combating stress and anxiety. Next is communication, and that's very important. Communication, like human beings are social species that relies on cooperation to survive and thrive. Like abroad, the worst form of punishment given in jails is solitary confinement. All by himself in a cubit. Just imagine how horrible it is without interacting with anyone. Lockdown is solitary confinement, but we are still free to interact and communicate our emotions. So show someone that you care, talk and express that you have never done before. Our survival is based on communication. Here I am communicating with you. How do you feel? Right? Had we been locked in our rooms with our phones in our hands, mental health would have worsened. Use that phone to make a video call to someone, to your relative, to your parents, to your friends. Okay? yoga, meditation, namaz, mindfulness, whatever you say. So all these are forms that promote relaxation, that soothes your mind and your body. Like, it reduces your stress, making you calm. You focus on your breath. You control your breath. You just do it 5 times and you'll instantly see the result. Like, you take a deep breath, you breathe in through your nose, fill your lungs and breathe out. Okay, so you control your breath. When you are anxious, your breath goes faster. And along with that, your heartbeats goes faster. So when you pace your breath, when you slowly breathe in and breathe out, you feel relaxed. It lowers your blood pressure and eases your breath. Okay, so that has a lot of relaxing and soothing impact on our brain. You feel better. Hobbies. Spending time on an activity that you enjoy can improve your mental health and well-being. Research shows that people with hobbies are less likely to suffer from stress, low mood, and depression. Whatever hobby you are good at drawing, gardening, baking, or writing poems, writing an article, whatever. Anything, it could be DIY or anything it could be. Identify. I said everyone has some amazing quality in them. Make use of your time to identify this hobby in you. Okay, so activities that get you out and about, can make you feel happier and more relaxed. So think about what you're interested in, and you will this way also make use of your precious time. So coming towards the end, I will just like to summarize what I did. We learned what is mental health, as defined by the WHO, is a state of well-being in which the individual realizes his or her own abilities, is able to cope with normal stresses of life, and can work productively and fruitfully, and is able to make contribution to his or her community. So we have a choice, and not to choose is also a choice. So you have chosen not to choose. For any change to occur, we have to accept the reality. The circumstances outside us, we don't have power over it. And this is what makes us tolerant towards uncertainty, which you cannot escape. What we can control is our thoughts, that is internal to us. So make use of your precious time and practice gratitude for every little thing that you have, along with a balanced diet, exercise, yoga, meditation, namaz, mindfulness, inculcating your hobbies, and all these encapsulates a good mental health, because you choose to live a happy life, a fulfilling life with a meaningful relationships, and be able to focus on your goals. I hope that was clear to everyone, and you were not bored and enjoyed the session, and it was not like that I was lecturing you or giving you gap. Thank you so much for patiently bearing with me.
Thanks a lot, ma'am. It was not a boring session at all. It was a very enjoyable and lot of energy boosted in the inner state of mind. And we are very much eagerly hearing your speeches, and the things you are sharing with us is very much relatable with our running circumstances during this COVID. So, hello all, this is Wahid Anwar, Nature Life Bangladesh. Thank you for insightful and magnificent presentation. Now, I would like to request all of our participants to ask questions to our facilitator, or you guys can write your question in the chat box. Besides here, I am requesting all of you to fill up 2 feedback forms within tonight, which is given in the chat box. Participants who are not fluent in English can write your question in Bangla. We can help you to reach to our facilitator. Thanks a lot. Our question and answering session is starting from right now, and you are very much free and open to ask the thing you are trying to gaining some insight. Thanks a lot. We have 52 participants with us. And if anyone have any question, you can raise your hand or write it down to chat box or unmute yourself and ask it directly to our facilitator. Thanks a lot.
I think I have covered almost all the points. Hopefully, I have covered all the points. So maybe while I was talking, you must have got your answers to what you wanted to ask me. How to control anger and negative thoughts. Okay, how to control anger and negative thoughts. Now, it's generally, anger is the secondary feeling. Below anger or under anger is fear. Okay, so it's actually that fear that makes you angry because you think that things are out of your control. You are not in the position, you're not in the power. So you get angry. Okay, so when this is the case that you are not able to, control your anger, how will you be able to control your anger when you're not aware when are you getting angry and what is happening inside your body? So when you are angry, it will give you some physical messages that, you will get those hot flushes in your ears, your skin will turn red, and you will, your palms will sweat, you will be in too much energy, filled with energy to react and to act upon, right? So you have to first analyze that these are the things that happens when these are the things, physical changes that happens in my body that is telling me, that is giving me a signal that I am getting angry. Okay, I told you anger is in response to fear. So there is a lot of, you need to work upon what are your fears, where you feel that, things are going out of hand or out of control or you're not in the power. So to prove a point, we try to raise a voice and be more louder. Okay, to suppress the other person. Okay, so now when you are thought that this is the situation where you are feeling angry and you have understood that these are the physical changes and I have realized that I am getting angry. Now before you respond, okay, before you respond, your response and your feeling of these symptoms and these changes in your body, there is a space of few seconds. Okay, before you respond, make a reaction, and when you identify the physical changes in your body, there is a space. Okay, a space of few seconds, and that is the point where you need to be conscious and aware, where you have to change your response. Getting it? That it doesn't come very quickly, but you have to work on it. You have to make that response. You have to decide, you have to choose your response in that space of that few seconds, that 10 to 15 seconds that you get before, that happens very quickly. Now, when you have decided that I want to overcome my anger, you will be more aware and more conscious of the situations and to people when you get angry. Okay, so when you have that space, it doesn't go unnoticed. You are aware of that space, that seconds where you can make a decision to either leave from that place. Okay, that is the immediate thing that you can do, that you can leave from that place. If you are standing, you are in more action mode. So when you are standing, you sit down. So when you sit down, your action mode reduces. Or if you are sitting down, just lie down. When you lie down, your action mode reduces further. Okay, and you can just go and wash your face, or you can drink water. Okay, this is a quick tip that I'm giving you, but you need to work on that if it's really causing a problem to you.
Ma'am, thanks a lot. Your explanation is very much helpful, and I think the person who have made this question will get some usefulness from this answer. And we have other questions. One of our participants wrote in Bengali that he is very much weak or dependent to a person who is his friend, and he is of his same gender, and he wanted to know that is it a mental abnormality or something that to be bothered or aware of.
Okay, I'll just repeat your question. Is this what you're trying to say, that the person is dependent on someone of the same gender?
Of his same gender, or he is his male friend, and I am observing that he is writing from a male ID, so I think he is a male person, and he's notion making a great to this point that even if it is a male friend,
Hmm.
so I could understand from his point that he is trying to mention that from his very similar gender perspective, is it a problem?
Okay. See, whether it is gender is not a problem in this question. Whether you are dependent on whether it's a male or a female, that is not the problem. Okay. The concern is that you are dependent on someone. That is the concern. Okay, the male and female is not the concern. The concern is that you're dependent on someone external to you. That means you are giving your power in the hands of someone else. Right? You have your intellect, you have your resources. I said that each and every one of us have amazing qualities. We have our intellect, we have that ability to reason, we have the ability to decide. Okay, we have our own morals and of the sense, the ability to decide right and wrong and good and bad, right? So what makes me dependent on someone else? Am I looking for acceptance from someone else, or I am, that dependency could be because I don't want to take a responsibility. So what is making me not take responsibility? Why I'm shedding away from responsibility? Why I'm avoiding responsibilities? What are the what are the things that I'm, thinking that if I take this responsibility or if I do this on my own, what will happen? And even if something bad happens, so what? It is not the end of the world. It was not the last chance. We learn from our mistakes, and we should give a chance. We should give ourselves that space to make mistakes, and that's how we learn and grow. And we are human beings, and this is a very evident nature. This is a very imbibed nature of human beings, that we are bound to make mistakes. This is a quality of human beings. This is a trait of nature of human beings, that we will make mistakes. So even if I make mistakes, what do I fear? Okay. So I hope you ask these questions to yourself.
Ma'am, when it is a part of interlanguage exchange, then some notions are always being missed or being uncleared. And from his point of view, he also, I think, trying to exploring that there is a weakness, and this weakness may be multidimensional. He is not trying to explore it in chat box. Please, will you try to give some suggestion for his case?
What I see in this question is the dependency. Dependency is the issue. Okay. So if it is being dependent on other person, the person, okay, if you're too dependent on other person, you need to understand what is making me dependent. The dependency could be because I don't want to take responsibilities. Okay.
Exactly, ma'am.
Yeah, I don't want to take responsibilities, and what makes me avoid responsibilities is fear of doing wrong, people attacking me. Arey, why did you do this? See, you made a mess. You made this. Fear of being criticized from people. I don't want to take criticism, right?
Exactly, ma'am.
Yeah, so people will criticize me. So am I accepting myself? When I'm not accepting myself, how do I expect others to accept me? Am I critical of myself? When I am critical of myself, I will not be able to take the criticism from others. And it's up to you. right? You can take it either ways. If people are criticizing you, you can either choose not to pay attention to that, okay? Because I told you, it's choice. What you choose is your choice. So either when people criticize you, you either don't pay attention to that, or what you can do is when people are criticizing you, you learn from that criticism and grow stronger, right? Because when people are
Exactly, ma'am.
when people are criticizing you, you are becoming aware of how you could improve yourself. But for that, you have to give yourself a chance to make that mistake and accept yourself with that mistake. I hope I have answered the question.
Exactly, ma'am. You have very, carefully and very multiply answered the question, and this fits with a lot of situations, as there are a lot of notions in this question. And
Thank you
I
so
hope
much.
the person has something to know about this notion, will gather some good insight, and from this he can overcome. There are some other questions from a very similar niches, that is uh, emotional imbalance, or uh, being impatient, and several people are doing the same question, that they cannot control anger, they cannot control negative thought,
Hmm.
they cannot control over their emotions, uh, and they are not being patient. And is this some mental issues to during this COVID are very much frequent and very much uh, significant to this situation?
See,
Will
this,
you, ma'am, please
yeah,
explain?
this is similar to the situation. People getting impatient and emotions going high and anxiety going high. In fact, I began with all this. So pandemic has does definitely affected our mental health, and even the people who are very mentally stable, their mental health have also affected. Okay, so each one of us, mental health has been affected at some point of time. I can include myself also in that. Me being a professional,
Exactly.
right? So we are normal human beings, right? We have a lot of things. We have, see, I tell you one thing, that we have this, we all of us, we human beings have a composition of intellect that is called akal, okay? The ruh, or the soul, or the self, and the nafs, that is called the desire, right? So we are composite of all these three. So we have, when we have this impulse and desire, or the nafs, that that wants that immediately we want things to blurt out and to say immediately, or to be gratified immediately, right? If that nafs supersedes, is above our akla, that is the intelligence, or the soul, that is the self, or the morals, okay, that is called the morals. So you are more, not less than an animal. Animals are not blessed with intelligence and morals and morality. They instantly react, they behave or act upon their impulses and desires, right? But we have our intellect and the morality with us to control the impulses, right? So when our emotions are going out of control, we have to use our intelligence and morality.
Thanks a
Getting
lot,
it?
ma'am.
Yeah.
As you mentioned perfectly, uh, a doctor can be infected by COVID, as well as a psychologist can be infected by emotional imbalance or other psychological perspectives. And this is very much relevant to such situation. And if a person can gain moral uh, and cognitive insights, and can practice these things in his inner state of mind, he can get some point of view or a pathway to get rid of from this from this bad situation, or he can regain strength and bounce back to his normal life. I hope
Yeah.
they all are very much getting useful from this uh, answer perfectly given by our facilitator, ma'am. Thanks a lot. There is another question, very much relevant to this situation and very much relevant to the problem of the students, that they are not gaining concern or gaining attention to their study topics or study subjects. And ma'am, in our country, the university, school, colleges, and all educational institutions has been closed during this lockdown, and from a long period of time, uh, almost 1 year and 8 months, and such a long time they are not attached to their educational institutions, and they are not attached to the study system they are adopted from their beginning of the educational career. So this is a very much common problem to students, and in this pandemic situation, how can they relate to their study, and how can they bounce back to the flow of their previous student life?
Okay. Yes, this long, since past 1.5 years, children and youngsters have been sitting at home and not going to colleges and schools. It has, definitely affected them, and they are not used to now. They are not in the pattern and habit of studying now. That regularity has broken. Okay, so it's very normal and it's very natural, and you can't actually do anything about it because it's become a norm now. You know that you don't have to early in the morning, you have to wake up and you have to go. Everything is on a toss, and that's why there is changes have been made in the syllabus also. There is a lot of changes have been made by the board in the syllabus. So what you need to do is that you have to, but you cannot just give up on that. Okay, you cannot be still free that when the colleges will open, then let's see. But then you have to move ahead. So as I mentioned in my slides, the time, right? You have to make use of the time. Okay, keep yourself attuned with your studies so that you are not completely have lost touch with it. Keep yourself attuned with it.
I am useful for non-information.
Hello, can you please mute yourself? Yeah, so you have to keep yourself attuned to your studies, so you have that so that you have not lost touch with it completely. Okay, so try putting in efforts. You have to put in your will. So it's all your will and your choice. What you give priority to, what you choose. Yes, definitely, I accept things have changed. Your the mood to study and everything all have brought about a lot of changes. Pandemic has brought up a lot of changes, but still you have to keep putting in efforts. You just don't have to give up, so that you are out of the box. Okay, so you have to keep yourself attuned and line with the studies. Keep doing a bit of it. Okay, that's what you can do.
Ma'am, another relevant issue is here, that is there is a very long break in study, and as they are getting back and trying to getting back, they cannot remembering the things. They are not really adjacent or adjusted to their study subjects, and when they are getting back and trying to read 1 or 2 pages, they are getting just bored and getting just tired of their study subject and losing their passions, and just make cannot just connecting the dots between their study topics and cannot recalling them. Will you please suggest some ways how they can effectively go through to their study subjects and can coping with these issues?
See, I don't agree with that. You cannot study. Okay, I don't agree with that. That when you say that you cannot study because you have been studying for so long, so it's not that you cannot study. You definitely can study. You don't want to study, so you change the language from cannot to don't. That I don't want to study, and what is making you not study? Because there are other things that are more interesting and other things that are more catchy, right? So what you have to do is you first prepare your mind. Your mind is not prepared to study. It has lost in touch. So you have to prepare your
Exactly.
mind. You have to prepare your
Exactly.
mind and suggest your mind that today I am going to do this. Today I'm going to do one page or one chapter of this the entire day. Start with this. Start with small steps. Don't start with, oh my, I will complete that full syllabus. That will be unrealistic and your brain doesn't want to accept that. Okay. So what you want to do is that what message you give to your brain will believe that.
Thanks a
Okay.
lot,
So your
ma'am.
brain doesn't differentiate between reality and, a belief. You have to make your brain believe what you want to do. So if you want to study, you will decide that I want to study. You don't say I cannot study. Okay. And keep repeating that to yourself. Yeah.
Ma'am, thanks a lot, ma'am. And I think they will be very much useful that will be very much useful for them. And I am seeing that there are 2 or 3 questions from the same niche, that is, they are feeling self-inferiority, and they are feeling that they are not capable. They don't have any basic knowledges, and they don't have any skills, and they are feeling that they are not capable of doing anything, and they are getting disappointed. Will you please, ma'am, share something that how they can get rid of this feeling of inferiority?
See, again, here I would say that if you're saying that I'm not capable of anything, that is a false belief that you're believing. Okay, you're telling your brain, you're giving a false message to your brain. And when you believe that, when you start believing that I'm not capable of anything, it's very natural that you will feel depressed and upset about yourself because you don't find anything good in yourself, right? So I told you, each and every human being has an amazing quality in it. You were born with an amazing quality. You're born with an amazing skill. And that is the skill and that quality you have to discover. When you discover, and that skill and quality that you discover, it gives the meaning and purpose to your life. So that's absolutely, I don't believe that you don't have any good in you. You definitely have some good in you, not many, but some good definitely. And you have to discover that. So in this pandemic time, when you have ample of time, I mentioned about discovering your hobbies. Start discovering what are you good at. You may be good at writing. You may be good at cracking jokes or making someone laugh. It could be as simple as that. Okay, you may be good at just listening to someone. You may be good as a good listener. It's not necessary that you need to have some technical skill or some professional skill. No, it could be any soft skill also that will help you, and that will help you to help the other
Yeah.
people and your community.
Yeah, exactly. Ma'am, we have 2 more questions from Anish. That is, they are not feeling empathy or attached or being loved, and they are not feeling patient to some criticism, and how they can deal it. They are very much tensed about the matter.
I didn't get your question. Can you please repeat your question?
Ma'am,
Yeah.
2 or more questions from the same criteria, that they are not feeling loved, they are not feeling cared, and they cannot dealing with criticism, and they are not passionate when someone is making criticism of them. So how they can manage it?
Okay. See, it works as a circle. Okay. When you think negative about yourself, okay, like, I'm not loved, I'm not cared. When you think negative about yourself, you will start feeling negative. You will feel bad, right? You will lose interest in everything. You will not want to interact with people. You will not want to communicate with people. Okay. So when you feel bad, it affects your behavior. Then how would you behave? You will stop talking to people. You will lock yourself in the room. You will not mingle with people. You will not communicate with people. You will lose interest. You will leave aside everything you used to do. And then that in turn affects your thoughts. When people target, when people point out on your behavior, because they are seeing your behavior, they are not looking at your thoughts, they are not looking at your feelings, but they are looking at your behavior. So when you behave that way, that you're secluding yourself, people start commenting on that he's always alone, he doesn't want to talk to people, and do something and do something good, and that, or criticize you. Getting it? So that in turn affects your thoughts, that see, I knew that nobody cares for me and nobody loves me. So it goes as a circle, and you have to break the circle somewhere. Getting it? You have to put in your efforts. It's once you put in your efforts, you gather all that courage, when you have decided that I want to be happy. This should be your goal and aim in your life, that I want to be happy. When you are happy, when you start feeling happy from within, you will spread that radiance. That radiance will affect and reach out to people around you, because your relationships will improve. You will enjoy talking to people. You will enjoy doing things that you love. You will enjoy taking up your hobbies. And when you
Exactly.
start doing that, you will get positive responses from people. They will start appreciating you. They will not then criticize you. So you see, there is a circle, your thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. It goes round and round. And somewhere you have to break that chain. You don't have to keep moving it round and round. You have to break that chain. And that chain, you have to decide. You have to make a choice that I want to break the chain because I want to be happy. I want to live a better life.
Thanks a lot, ma'am. If you permit, we can take one last question from a different area, or we can finish our question answer session from here.
Okay. Are you sure there's only one last question now left?
Ma'am, there are several questions, but from one area. I am trying to covering the areas of these questions because our participants are very much eager to know and explore, and all of them are trying to making some questions. So I am trying to coordinate the questions and
You can
trying to making it from a criteria. So last question is last criteria is this is are drugs are any useful for mindfulness or mind health? That is, and another is Facebook addiction, that is based on addiction, and uh, such type of addiction in drugs or in social media, is that a severe problem to this situation, and how they can deal these problems?
Okay. See, any addiction, any kind of an addiction, whether it is social media, it's phone, or whatever addiction it is. Okay. When you are addicted to something, okay, it is something that that is making you feel good. It's only then you are addicted to it because it's making you feel good. Okay. Otherwise, you would have moved away from it if it is not making you feel good. So you are addicted to something when it is making you feel good. Now, the question is, it's not necessary whatever you are addicted to is a good thing or a healthy thing. It could be a bad or an unhealthy thing also. Right? If you discover that it is something bad and unhealthy that you are addicted to, first of all, you need to become aware that this addiction is there and I'm addicted to, I'm spending hours into it. Okay, and it is unhealthy. You're feeling guilty at the end of the day. Okay, there is a feeling of guilt that I wasted so much of time, or why I did this. Okay, if there is some guilt associated with it, or feeling bad about it. Okay, so you are, when you are addicted to something that I said that, that is unhealthy and that makes you feel bad. Okay, You have to break that addiction. And what is happening is that it all requires, I spoke about that reasoning. You have to reason out to yourself that how much time am I putting into it, and what are the benefits, or what are the advantages and disadvantages of that addiction. I'm sure the disadvantages will be more in this.
Exactly, ma'am.
Right?
Ma'am.
And then just let me continue. You will, when you notice that the disadvantages are more, what else could you have done, or what else you could have done to make that would have made you feel better and was productive and healthy for you? Yeah.
Ma'am, is the addiction is not from drug addiction, or is it is a suggested medicine, then it is good for mental health, or is it prescribed from the doctors? Is it good, or is it really very?
Any medicine, if you are addicted, then it's definitely not a healthy thing. If you're addicted to any medicine, like, you know, I have seen people getting addicted to sleeping pills. Until they take sleeping pills, they don't feel sleepy. So that is not a good addiction. Okay, you should be able to and find out ways in sleeping naturally and not depend. Yes, ma'am.
Fahima,
Yes,
sorry
ma'am.
to interrupt. Here I'm. Good evening, first of all. Good evening, everyone. First of all, the person who is asking the question about the medicine, he should tell us that whether this medicine has been prescribed by the practitioner or they are taking by themselves. Then only we can answer about addiction and de-addiction. Here it is very much necessary with the query, if anybody is taking the medicine, is he under some supervision from where he started taking medicine? Then only we can comment on that. Is he diagnosed with any disease or something?
Yeah.
So it is very much necessary, whoever is asking this question, to tell us. We cannot generalize the thing right here. It is very much necessary for Fahima also to know.
Exactly, ma'am. Exactly, ma'am. And if anyone is taking medicine of his own, that is not supported, and that is not a matter of having some acceptance that it could be helpful.
Yes, first of all, any professional to whom this question is being raised, it should be told to the professional that that medicine, whoever is taking, is prescribed by a doctor. Is he diagnosed by some disease, and from when he started taking this medicine? Otherwise, most of the mental health problems are treated without medicines also.
It's only when the mental health problems become severe. It's like mild, moderate, and severe, these categories of mental health issues. So if the problem is severe, it's only in that case the medicines are given, not even in the case of moderate symptoms.
Thanks a
And
lot,
where
ma'am.
the psychology comes, where the psychologist comes in between. And usually people do not know about psychologists. They straight away go to a psychiatrist. It is very much advised whenever you start feeling something about disturbance in mental health or struggling with your thoughts, first visit a psychologist. He has that ability. He will guide you whether you need a psychiatrist or not.
Exactly, ma'am. Exactly, ma'am. And I am grateful to you all for patiently participating to our session, and to our facilitator, ma'am, for passionately answering such a diverse types of questions. And I think our participants are getting help from her answers. And now I am closing our question answer session and handing over to Jayanta Das Gupta, our coordinator. Please, Jayanta Das Gupta, explore yourself.
Thank you so much. Hello, everyone. I'm Jayanta Das Gupta, working as a coordinator of Nurture Life Bangladesh. So I'm going to say something to our guest of our today's workshop, Fahima Rashid ma'am. You are talking about gratitude and appreciation during the workshop. So we were facing some difficulties to conduct the workshop for today's session. But you came forward and supported us to run the workshop. And that's why we are so much grateful, and we are showing our gratitude for your unconditional support. So thank you so much, Fahima madam, for giving us your valuable time and to conduct this session. So it's almost 1 month, and we have conducted 6 workshop for the for the students of Dhaka University. So we were, me and the head of our chapter, Nurture Life Bangladesh, Reza Rabbi, was thinking about to do something for our students to raise mental health awareness, or to do something for our students to give some messages that yes, mental health is important in our life. And we were thinking to do something for the younger generation. And approximately actually between 1st to 4th July, if I'm not wrong, suddenly Mr. Julia Sida Talukdar came forward, and he also said that yes, it is important right now, so we can make a collaboration and to do something good and to do something well for our students. So finally we have done it, and that was a really wonderful experience for all of us from Nurture Life Bangladesh to conduct 6 workshops, and we have provided basic concept to over 500 participants during these workshops. So thank you so much, Mr. Julia Cesar Talukdar, for giving us the opportunity to collaborating to make a collaboration with you to do something which is grateful for our generation. And last but not the least, we are showing our gratitude and our love towards Farah Sharosh ma'am, because she gave us the opportunity to do something in our country when we were thinking that we can do. She gave us the opportunity, she gave us the platform for making a better purpose. So thank you so much, Ms. Farah Sharosh madam, the founder of Nurture Life. So I would like to request Farah madam to say something for our participant.
Thank you so much, Mr. Das Gupta, and I just love calling you all with adding this salutation, Mr. You all are younger to me, but I like addressing you all as a gentleman. So it's indeed a pleasure and honor for me to be here and addressing you all. And I would really appreciate my Bangladesh team. They did this series of workshops so well, organized so well. And I'm so thankful to Mr. Talukdar for taking it so seriously and completed all the sessions with full responsibility. Kudos to Mr. Talukdar. I am really impressed by seeing your sincerity towards this issue, and I think it is the need of the hour to talk about it, and we should take care of everyone's mental health. And thank you, Ms. Reza Rabbi, for organizing it so well with sincerity and responsibility. Each one of you from the Bangladesh team, I'm really grateful to you for all the love, and you have showed the confidence you have showed in me, and the confidence you have showed on the platform. I'm so happy to see all that, and I am what should I say, that I'm feeling so blessed that I have you people in my team. Thank you so much once again, and thank you so much, Fahima ma'am, for accepting this an emergency thing Thank you so much for sparing your time for this workshop. You are a noble soul. And we got really good feedback from your previous workshop also. And everybody loves you here. Thank you so much, Fahima ma'am.
Thank you so much, Farah ma'am, for giving me this opportunity and suggesting my name for this. I'm really, I feel privileged to come on this platform again for Dhaka University, for Dhaka chapter. And thank you, Mr. Talukdar and Mr. Rabbi. Thank you so much.
And Mr. Talukdar, we would like to have a long-term relation with you. After seeing your sincerity, we are very much interested in taking it a long way. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot. And we hope our journey and our joint coordination will continue in the long run. We want to conclude the session. I am requesting Mr. Julius Caesar Talukdar, founder of Dhaka University Health Express, to conclude the session by his speech. Now it is over to you, Mr. Talukdar. Mr. Julius Caesar Talukdar.
Thank you, Wahid Rono. I would love to thank our honorable guest, Mrs. Fahima Rashid, for facilitating a great session. This was the 5th workshop and the last session of this session series. This is 2nd session with our Fahima Rashid ma'am. Actually, today's guest was Dr. Anju Mahal, but she failed to join for an accident. We should pray for her and her daughter. And especially, I would love to thank Mrs. Farah Sharosh for partnership. And within a very short time, we will organize some trainings and seminars for the students of University of Dhaka. And we will love to invite Farah Sharosh and Nurture Life for partnership. I hope you will be with us. And all of our participants are very passionate and eagerly waiting for the certificates. I know within 2 days, we will send certificates. Our secretary program, Habib Rahman, will send all the certificates to your mails. If you fail to find your certificates in mail, please contact us. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Thanks a lot, Mr. Julius Caesar Talukdar.
Thank you, sir.
At this point, I am trying to introduce myself. I am Mohammad Wahid Anwar, Secretary Mental Health, Dhaka University Health Express, and a volunteer of Nurture Life also. And I am here with you, with Sheena Akhtar Lima, Rizai Rabbi, and Joyanto Dargupto, and other volunteers and participants. From all, we are just bidding a very prosperous and healthy future. Till then, good night and wishes good for all.
Bye-bye, everyone. Good night.